Well, we're here at round 5 of our Swiss for today's Premier Challenge, and we're going to be ending it with a bang. We've got a really cool team. We've got Masquerade and Ogrepon Cornerstone, which is ironic because we've seen every Ogrepon on stream except the most common.
We have.
And it is Tyler, Deacy versus Brandon Davis. We got two very, very well-known players here in SoCal. Win this matchup, you go 3-2, have a shot at moving to top cut. Don't win it, it's game over for you today. So a lot at stake here, and they are trading team sheets as you see, and we are getting right into it. Tyler on the left with that Flutter Mane, Iron Hands, Iron Bundle, Ogrepon, Hearth Flame, that Masquerade, and Shen Pao. While Brandon's going to be on the right with Armor Rouge, Torkoal, Indeedee Female, Ogrepon Cornerstone, Ursaluna, Hisui / normal, and Urshifu single strike. So this is a very interesting team because we are saying that first off, Ursaluna's coming back into fashion, but that Cornerstone Ogrepon.
Yeah, I like Cornerstone to go along with a Psy-Spam team, as you're able to. Excuse me, you're able to go whatever Trick Room user and Ogrepon lead and follow me, and unless it is Rapid Strike Urshifu, you're going to take 2 hits because you have the Sturdy. So you can kind of use it for that. And then also Ivy Cudgel is the best rock type move in the game.
It really is. And that's one thing we've seen this Masquerade definitely try. And I mean, earlier we were talking about it. It is calced to live. Ready for this. Rock Slide from Arcanine -1. Flare Blitz from Arcanine -1. Both choice banded. Terra Fairy Moonblast choice specs. It lives a lot. And that even the Ogrepon here, this Cornerstone form, I don't think it's going to be able to one KO this Masquerade. And so I think this is a matter, though, of setting up this Trick Room solely because Torkoal is very, very important for Brandon. Because, let's be real, Torkoal, looking at Tyler's team, it's very offensive. Iron Hands is like your only chance, and it is Terra Water, which may be for that Torkoal. We'll see if it comes into play later. But Brandon's leading there with that Armor Indeedee classic combo, and Tyler's bringing out the Masquerade with Flutter Mane.
I'm excited to see the Masquerade. An interesting spot here for that Masquerade. It can Struggle Bug to drop the special attack of both of these Pokemon. Struggle Bug, Air Slash, Hydro Pump, and what is that last move? I can't even read it.
Struggle Bug and Sticky Web.
Sticky Web.
Power Gem coming out for Flutter Mane does connect with the Indeedee. I'm surprised we didn't see Terra Fairy Moonblast right away, but the Struggle Bug is going to go right away and drop the special attack of both Indeedee and Armor Rouge. It's great. There is one thing that we do gotta watch out for if you're Tyler right now, and that is that helping hand potential from Indeedee, which will just kind of make it so that Struggle Bug is negated completely. But here's one thing that I find interesting: this Masquerade is slower than Armor Rouge. So, yeah. Although
you can just launch a Hydro Pump.
Really? Although it may not be. It could be very,
or
very
Struggle
close.
Bug again, because, I mean, at some point, just continuing to drop the special attack, yeah, I think Armor Rouge can't stick in for that much longer.
No. Torkoal, I'm guessing, is incoming? No, Ursaluna.
No, it's Ursaluna.
Okay, both are valid.
I should have known that. That's the Moon character.
It's still a very valid switch in, honestly, just because both are pretty slow. Although Iron Hands is going to give Ursaluna a run for its money, essentially. The hard part here with Masquerade at the moment is it can't really do too much. I mean, you got the Struggle Bug, and it's going to chip that Ursaluna. Doesn't quite pick up the knockout on Indeedee. But okay,
a crit on both. That's pretty funny.
Well, okay then.
it didn't do that much regardless. There's the burn to go with Guts for Ursaluna. At this point, Ursaluna is in kind of a nice spot to just start clicking. Either go Swords Dance to slow things down and Indeedee can suck in one more hit. I don't think Ursaluna is that threatened by Masquerade. I guess Hydro Pump could be scary, but
yeah.
How scary? And
it's not
how scary in compared to Swords Dance and then becoming the 5 turns in Trick Room Bear.
I think that's pretty much the strategy. I would also go as far as say this is probably a safe Terra Ghost here.
Ursaluna's so cute.
It's like sitting there waiting to literally rip you apart.
It's so fun.
Well,
I like the Ursaluna plush a lot.
Ursaluna's just got one of the greatest designs. I love it. I always have. And Terra Water onto that Iron Hands. It's going to make sure that this Iron Hands does live a Headlong Rush potential and Facade as well. Follow me though on NDD, kind of expected. So that Iron Hands will go first here. Unless this Masquerade goes first and goes for that Struggle Bug, and we could see a Struggle Bug plus Drain Punch, and that just gives Tyler that advantage there. But no, the Iron Hands is slower.
It's another critical hit.
First.
We'll do a bit of damage back with the Rocky Helmet. Not too much, but at this point, this is a very scary Ursaluna. It is the Hydro Pump. It does connect.
It's about 50%.
Not bad damage. It does mean that you have to, you genuinely have to treat that Masquerain with respect in terms of its damage. Whatever comes in now has to be able to threaten the Masquerain, and this does.
Underrated. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I do think this is not looking good for Tyler though. At the moment, just because you cannot dodge an eruption, Masquerain gonna go down to an eruption.
Yeah. At this point, Brandon has to probably either knock out both of these Pokemon or at least force them out this turn.
Yeah.
Because Brandon is pretty far behind in terms of like Pokemon count. Tyler has barely taken any damage.
Yeah, but the thing is, these eruptions are going to be really.
These eruptions are going to be scary. The facades are going to be scary. Like you are going to get hit hard this turn.
Yeah, and there's no way for Tyler to really protect at the moment. I would not switch into Ogerpon because I think you got to save your Ogerpon.
I don't necessarily know if you want to switch here if you don't just. I guess Masquerain, yeah, you get to cycle the Intimidates, but honestly, I would have preferred it staying out.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. Although,
Ogerpon is in Sun now, at least.
It's not horrible.
And it won't take much against the Eruption, which I think is the only thing it gets hit by. We will see Brandon use the Terra. It will be Terra Fire Torkoal, so this will be doing crazy damage with the Charcoal in the Sun. Terra Fire. Let's see it use the Eruption, I assume.
I would be shocked if
Here it comes.
That's going to do a lot onto both. I think it's going to knock out the Ogerpon and get at least 70%.
Neutral onto the Ogerpon, easy knockout.
All right,
does an okay chunk to the Iron Hands. Not great damage, but
I thought it was
fully resistant.
But that Facade's going to
That Facade is absolutely going to destroy that Iron Hands, and there's the double KO this turn from Brandon.
That double, yeah, in this case, pretty, you know what, I don't think Tyler played wrong per se. I think it was more so the wrong Pokemon came in, or turn one, I was actually expecting that Fluttermane to just go Moonblast, you're gone, NDD, but or actually just Ogerpon could do the same thing, but I think that a little bit of the wrong, not necessarily wrong play, but by going for Fluttermane, as useful as it is in a match like this, if you get Trick Room up, you can't stall it out. And if I'm not mistaken, this was, we're not going to see on our side, but I think it was the last turn of Trick Room. And so by just having a couple turns to protect, it puts you in a really good position because that Masquerain forces those switch outs. And so I think that it was one of those things where just because there was no protect here on that Fluttermane, it allowed that Torkoal to take control of the game.
Double bell ring, 2 knockouts for Torkoal, easily going to clean up this battle. Yeah, that's the scary part about Trick Room. That's the scary part about 5 turns in Trick Room, is that you can be doing pretty well early on, getting those early knockouts, and then Ursaluna and Torkoal come in at the right times. They came in basically for free. They weren't taking a whole lot of damage at the start of it, and suddenly they just hit you. 1 Swords Dance and 1 Terastal, and suddenly under Trick Room, you're done.
Yeah. Going into game 2, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same Pokemon from Tyler's side. However, I do think...
I thought the Pokemon were fine, yeah.
Yeah, I just think the strategy... I would say that's fine, too. I think if you lead with... Ogerpon here.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily want to put Masquerain out in front this time. It was nice to be able to force out the Armarouge, but I don't think that was all that valuable, all things considered.
Because it doesn't have Protect.
Yeah.
I would go with definitely Iron Hands, and then you could pick a fourth. I think that Flutter Hands and Ogerpon are not a bad combo. And you can pick Masquerain or Chenpao or Bundle. I think out of those, Chenpao is the right call.
Yeah, Chenpao does have the Lash Out and no Sucker Punch. It's Icicle Crash, Lash Out, Sacred Sword, and Protect.
Yeah, we haven't seen that typical Chenpao set like all day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Chen Pao has so many different light variations on its sets. It's really fascinating. It will be the same lead again for Brandon.
This is better. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Terra Grass Armor. So, Terra Force incoming right here.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but here's the thing. Yeah, you just gotta.
Yeah, I think you just try to hit Indeedee as hard as you can.
That's a good switch out actually too, going into that Chen Pao, because you do resist an expanding force, but I think the Trick Room's gonna be set.
The worst thing that happens is Trick Room gets set up, but you get a knockout, which is not that bad.
The only downside
you're gonna keep the pace up.
Okay, this is interesting. The downside to this is, yeah, you're gonna be.
We'll see the
very
Terra here. I believe this is Tyler's Terra.
Yeah.
Yes, it is on the
So,
Overcon Hearth Flame.
Your hands are now going to be susceptible to Ursaluna without any Swords Dance mechanics being in play, and you're also going to take more damage from Torkoal. But that being said, this Ogre Pawn now becomes kind of the central to your strategy. Your goal: use that Ogre Pawn. It's a helping hand.
Ooh, it's helping hand.
No Trick Room incoming.
That's pretty good for Tyler.
That is really good for Tyler.
Ivy Cudgel will definitely knock out this Indeedee. Goodbye. Ring the bell. This is the big question here. If this is an expanding force, it will only hit the it will only hit the Ogre Pawn, but this should hit the Ogre Pawn pretty hard and burn the Terra.
It does
Indeed
knock it out. Yeah. I think you're fine.
It's not terrible for either side. It means that Tyler doesn't have to deal with the Trick Room. Because now, I think Lash Out and or Icicle Crash is enough of a threat to the Armor Rouge from Chen Pao to keep it from setting up the Trick Room, and I don't think anything else can set up Trick Room on this game.
I would bring,
Correct, yeah.
I would bring
just the Armor Rouge.
I would bring back Flutter right here.
Yeah, and Flutter can be extra threat.
Okay. That's fine.
Or the hands. I mean, yeah. Hands is always fine.
It's true, especially if you see that come out. I think right now, you just kind of you have two choices. You can just double up on one side. If I'm not mistaken, this Iron Hands was to be faster than normal, so you can double up on an Armor Rouge. But it's one of those 50-50 calls, because if that Trick Room gets up, then it's going to be a struggle to deal with that Ursaluna.
Yeah, Iron Hands is not faster than Armor Rouge. We can see that right here.
Well, then I think
even still, Chen Pao is the fastest thing and should just be able to destroy that Armor Rouge if it doesn't protect.
I think we're going to see
I think it might just be threaten that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because Chen Pao can't even get knocked out this turn, even if there is whatever from Torkoal.
That was a valid protect there. I was going to say, you're going to see a Terra protect.
Ooh, interesting Icicle Crash. Predicting
that Terra,
yeah, predicting the Terra Grass. That's important, because the Terra could decide things. Drain Punch, that's going to weaken a potential Eruption by a decent chunk.
Still
is that Eruption?
This is... You know what?
Knock Chen Pao to Focus Sash.
And only the 60 on Iron Hands is really not a ton.
Yeah, Iron Hands is feeling good. Yeah, now that it is kind of a 50-50 read at this point of whether Armor Rouge Terras or not.
I think that's important. It's very important. I wouldn't be surprised to just double up on Armor Rouge. You know your Iron Hands is going to take it, and then you got Flare in the back. There's no use in not doubling up on Armor Rouge right now.
Armor, yeah, that's fair.
And there's
we will now see the Terra.
Which I think we saw Lash Out. It's fine.
I think, yeah, if it's a double, then it should still get it done. Even through this, it'll be pretty close, probably.
But the question is, how much does Expanding Force do?
That's a good question.
It should do quite a bit. There's a Lash Out.
Quite a bit. There is indeed the Lash Out.
50%.
About 50%. There is the Expanding Force. Doesn't affect Chen Pao.
It's going to do a lot. It's enough.
It knocks out Iron Hands, and Chen Pao will drop to Torkoal.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we kind of...
There it goes. Fun little Heat Wave. I don't know about the Heat Wave there.
Yeah, that was risky. I would have just erupted.
Risky Heat Wave.
Probably expecting
Heat Wave was higher damage in case the Icicle Crash came in and your Armor Rouge was knocked out. Heat Wave is a little bit better damage.
Slightly. Wouldn't have done much.
Could have burned Iron Hands, so I don't hate it in total. Okay, so now it is just a Flutter Mane against the world.
Yeah, you just click Dazzling Gleam and hope for the best.
Yeah, you've got to knock. Yeah, and you are Specs. So
it's not actually, to be honest, it's not horrible.
It's not horrible,
but it is very unlike.
Yeah, the Torkoal isn't going to be doing that much damage, but you're not going to do basically anything to Torkoal, I think.
You have your boost.
We'll see what this does. This is a lot of... Yeah, there are a lot of modifiers there. It's 2 hit on Torkoal. It's not bad. That's a lot more damage than I thought it would do.
It's...
If this gets a double knockout, it'll depend on what's on the back.
And before it is single strike or Shifu. No, I think really.
I mean, if it's single strike or Shifu,
it doesn't matter what's in the back.
Well,
it really doesn't matter what's in the back. Headlong Rush one hits from the Ursaluna.
yeah.
So just a single strike gets rid of it with Wicked Blow, and
I mean,
Scarf,
I guess,
so you're faster.
I guess it's a question of whether it can pick up a knockout on whatever.
And if it is Urshifu, it's like you just click Massage Sucker and win it.
There's a Luna.
I think that was duh. Protect for turn 1 because duh, and then you click Headlong Rush. The thing is, it's his choice specs, single target Dazzling Gleam in the sun. It may actually be enough.
That's the thing. Is it enough?
It could be. This Ursaluna is not. I mean, it's bulky.
Oh, no more sun. Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that might have been the last turn of sun.
That would have done it. That would have done it. Yeah. The question is, with a 33% boost, that would have knocked out? And I don't think it would have, but we're going to see. Are we for crit? It wouldn't have knocked out.
And the Headlong Rush will get it done.
And that means Brandon Davis goes 3-2, has a shot at top cutting. And we got to see Masquerade, which I'm super happy about.
I'm happy that we got to see Masquerade, and honestly, I know everyone hates Size Spam. I'm intrigued in seeing Brandon's team if it does move forward to Top Cut. This is an interesting team. We didn't get to see the Ogrepon the Ogrepon Cornerstone at all from Brandon, nor did we see the Urshifu, which I wasn't as surprised about. But I'm curious to see how this team all fits together when it does all come together.
Yeah, and you know what I really like about this team is you've got not only Size Spam, but options to play fast. You've got Urshifu, Single Strike, and Ogrepon Cornerstone, and that's really solid because having a stab rock move that is consistent is really, really nice. It's why Cleavor got a lot of usage in the earlier regulations because Stone Axe was so good. Even though it was a 5% miss chance, it's still better than like any other rock move. And so I think that that's kind of threatening as well. But yeah, well done to Brandon. I'm just glad we got to see that Masquerade. Two great players for a really great round 5. But we'll be back with your quarterfinals Top Cut in just a few minutes as soon as everyone else finishes up here. So make sure you stick around because otherwise Bidoof will be disappointed in you.